Okay, well, let's look at that buyer journey now. Just going back, just to recap, we're talking of, say, the 16 weeks that it takes from sale agreed to legal completion, which is a heck of a long time. If you're a buyer, again, you'll be making your offer through the estate agent. What happens next once that buyer has made that offer? They're instructing a conveyancer, they're instructing chapter law to proceed. So what does that buyer journey look like?
So once the buyer's offer is accepted, it's always accepted subject to contract. They would instruct a lawyer, as you've said. We'd carry out our AML checks, our ID checks. We would also need to check the source of funds and source of wealth for that buyer to see where their money's coming from. Again, just to tick those boxes in respect of the legislation that governs us, make sure that it is their money. Often at that point, gifters come out of the woodwork, the bank of mum and dad, we hear about it in the news all of the time. So checks then need to be carried out on those people as well. We would then potentially get a mortgage offer if one was needed. We would at some point within a very short period of time get draft contracts, you would hope. At that point, we can then order searches.
Okay, can I just come back to
please.
yeah?
I'm just going to rattle off the conveyancing process.
If I come back to you regarding that bank of mum and dad statement, because it potentially are buyers actually, if they're first time buyers potentially as well, where that may apply. Are they, when you your experience, are they familiar that we have to do those checks?
No, and that is usually where we meet the most resistance, to be honest. So if a parent is gifting money, then we have to get the bank statements and understand the source of the wealth from the parent. They can be quite they're not necessarily going to expect to receive those questions or that level of scrutiny about their own bank account. So that can cause problems, but it is needed, unfortunately, in every case. When a purchaser is using a gift from a relative, then it's often unexpected by that relative that we should be holding them to account and scrutinising their paperwork. We'd need ID checks, we'd need to run an AML check, we'd need to see bank statements and understand their source of funds and their source of wealth. That can be seen as intrusive. People often want to keep their finances private while they've offered to give their child an amount of money. They're not necessarily expecting to have to share their whole income, their whole bank statements. But unfortunately, there's no escaping that's part of what we need to do.
Okay. You mentioned that obviously that you're informed of that sale by the estate agent, and is that by the form of a memorandum of sale that details the seller, the buyer, and does it actually provide with chain information as well?
We always hope to receive a memorandum of sale from the estate agent because this gives us all the information we need, the price that's been agreed for the property, the seller's information, the purchaser's information, and their legal representatives. We don't always receive that. However, because of the information it contains, it's invaluable. And so sometimes our time can be spent either chasing that or reacting, if you like, when we get letters from other solicitors saying they're instructed, and then having to sort of backfill the information to confirm the price is correct, for example.